Welcome back. Should courtroom witnesses be allowed to take their oath of office, or if they're being sworn in, or if they're testifying in court, on the Koran as opposed to the Bible? Matt Barber, Policy Director for Cultural Issues for Concerned Women of America, thinks this ultimately could be damaging to American civilization. He joins us from Washington. Good morning to you, Matt.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
All right. So the question is this. If somebody is Muslim and they're testifying in a court of law, for instance, the Bible doesn't mean that much to them. So why not have them swear on the Koran?
Sure, and let me first say that my opposition to this it doesn't represent any hostility toward the Koran or toward Islam. What it does represent is a recognition that in our society, our values, our principles are rooted, our unique American culture is rooted in the principles of the Judeo-Christian tradition, specifically the principles found within the Judeo-Christian Bible.
Right.
So when a person walks in to a courtroom to swear an oath, they're not walking in to swear allegiance to the Bible. They're simply recognizing that our unique American culture recognizes the Bible as the holy scriptures which were foundational to our own unique value system.
All right, so it looks like this lawsuit then can go forward. The North Carolina State Court of Appeals is ruling this lawsuit filed by the ACLU and a Muslim woman about her request to place it on a Koran as a witness can go forward. So what does that mean? What are the implications of that going forward? Where does it go now?
Well, that does appear to be the case, and we'll have to see how it plays out in the courts. But I think what this really represents is an act of hubris by the ACLU. This is just another attempt by the ACLU to inject this politically correct multiculturalism and pluralism on our society to the detriment of our Judeo-Christian heritage, to try to create an American society in their own image rather than in the image that our founding fathers intended. So yeah, it looks like it's going to go forward in the courts, and I think that it could spell chaos in the judicial system.
What kind of chaos? Because people would, when you go up to testify, they'll go, okay, what would you like to swear over? A Koran, a Holy Bible, an Old Testament? You pick?
Well, sure. Where does it end? If an individual walks in and he happens to derive his value system from the Satanic Bible, and I'm not comparing the Koran to the Satanic Bible, but if that happens to be where that individual derives his value system, according to the ACLU's position, who are we to say that he can't swear on the Bible?
Right.
If they walk in with a copy, your earlier segment of Harry Potter,
right,
who's to say they can't swear an oath on Harry Potter?
Yeah, you're right. It does sort of open the door to anything goes. What about Representative Keith Ellison and the decision by Congress to allow him to be sworn in on the Koran as opposed to the Bible?
Well, sure. I think the same principle applies there, and what it really does is it undermines our historical Judeo-Christian heritage. If you continue to water down something enough, eventually it becomes unrecognizable.
Matt, are you worried? Are you worried that the ACLU just wants to get rid of the Bible altogether?
Well, sure. That's clearly their underlying motive. They want to create a society in their own secular humanist image, not devoid of religion per se, but devoid specifically of Christianity or any reference to the Bible in the public square or within our system of government.
All right, Matt Barber, we thank you very much for joining us today from D.C. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks for having me.